Hello, welcome to meditation. This is a Shamatha Meditation. So I'll do just a little brief review for those of you that have already experienced Shamatha and a little introduction for those that haven't. So Shamatha is a Tibetan Buddhist form of meditation. It is a meditation that is accessible to all. It's known as a Vipassana practice, which means it's a one-pointed focus. And shamatha translates as calm abiding. So this practice is really about us living in the everyday world with a sense of calm, a sense of presence, and a sense of ease. And so this practice helps to teach us that calmness, right? And it helps us to cultivate space and clarity within our mind. And so that's what we're working with within this practice. This practice is not about not thinking or shutting off of your thoughts. This practice is more about recognizing thought and being able to let that thought go, being able to release that thought so that it doesn't snowball, it doesn't control, and it doesn't keep you from experience and being present for your life. So we simply watch the breath in this practice. And you watch the breath coming in and out. There's no practice to the breath, right? There's no technique to the breath. It simply is just breathing, no matter how you're breathing, and watching that breath, using the mind to watch that breath. And when a thought comes in, whenever you notice that thought, we label the thought very clearly thinking and very neutrally thinking, so that we're not analyzing what kind of thought we're having. We're not judging ourselves for thinking. We're just simply noticing, labeling, putting a label on it, and then releasing the thought and coming back to the breath. And then you just keep watching the breath. Next thought comes in, same practice happens, right? Sometimes you get to the cushion and it happens 1,000 times. Sometimes you get to the cushion and it happens once or twice, right? It really is a practice where day to day, our sit can be different. And that's okay. We have to remember that, right? And remember that discomfort in the body, an itch on your nose, your foot falling asleep, these are all part of our thought process, right? So if we don't scratch on the itch on our nose, it could snowball into some big, crazy thought, right? So instead, just scratch your nose, thinking, come back to the breath. Yeah, simple, right? This practice is not about being complex and crazy. This is really about being simple but precise, right? So it's a very deep practice, but a very precise practice, okay? So take a comfortable seat. Find your sits bones rooted down, crown of your head lifted up. Close your eyes and place your hands right on your thighs, so that your elbows release below your shoulders and the spine is super long. Notice first your breathing. That natural rhythm of breath that is yours, belongs to you, to no one else. And notice where specifically in the body you feel your breath. Is it predominantly in the belly, the chest? Or maybe the tip of your nose is an easier point to land. And try to find a specific point of the breath, but know that throughout this practice, the point can change. So find that point. Notice the breath there. And begin to just rest the mind's attention onto that point of breath. And now tip your chin down just slightly and allow the eyes to open about halfway. So we have a soft gaze that's balanced between the internal and the external world. And if at any point during this practice you need to close the eyes for a moment, then please do. And then when you're prepared, you open the eyes again so that we're practicing that balance of focus. All right, here we go. Ready? begin just to lift your gaze. Move your body in any way that you need to weaken the spine. All right, so how was that? Take a moment and just reflect for yourself, and not a good or a bad, right? I don't want any of those words. But was there a lot of thought? Was there little thought? And particularly, were you able to recognize the thought and release it? Because that's really where we come into the meat of the practice, right? Some days I find there's a lot of thoughts, but I'm able to really bring them back each time. And some days I sit and I find that my thoughts are trailing because I'm not able to grasp them and find them early enough. So then they kind of snowball, right? So again, this practice, every time you come to the cushion, can be different. We just did 10 minutes of sit. And I think the last couple of times, for those of you that have been watching these videos, we've done 10 minutes, right? So now it's time to bump it up just a bit and to take it to 12, 15 minutes, right? But if you can continue to do this practice every day, right, especially while people are home right now, if you can be finding a time every day that you can sit for 10 minutes or 5 minutes even, right, then we start to get the body, the brain more used to this sit, right? The discomfort of the body starts to dissipate. The trailing of the mind starts to dissipate, right, as we start to teach it, and we start to do this practice more regularly. Yeah. So the next time we'll come together, we'll sit a little bit longer, but that is all for our shamatha practice today. So namaste, my friends.